Good morning. We're going to look at Christ and his sufficiency in his roles as prophet, priest, and king. The best text that I think we can go to for this is the beginning of Hebrews. The letter to the Hebrews, we do not know who it is written by. I feel confident. I spent a lot of years studying Hebrews. I used to teach it. I taught it for 12 or 13 years at a Bible school. And I'm pretty confident Paul did not write it for a number of reasons that are embedded within the letter. But we don't know who ultimately wrote it. But what we do know is the primary concern is painting a portrait of Jesus that was winsome to Jews, such that those Jews would leave traditional Judaism in pursuit of the sufficiency and supremacy of Jesus Christ. Therefore, it's very fitting that we start there. So, we're going to look at him as prophet, priest, and king, and in the middle of that, we're going to really see a number of characteristics over the next several days that identify him as this final prophetic word from God. So let's look at prophet first. Verse 1 of chapter 1 in the letter to the Hebrews. And we'll actually read verses 1 and 2. Long ago, at many times and in many ways, God spoke to our fathers by the prophets. But in these last days, he has spoken to us by his Son, whom he appointed the heir of all things, through whom also he created the world. I want to focus on verse 1 and the first part of verse 2. Lots of prophets revealed the character, nature, and message of God. He says in verse 2 that in these last days he has spoken to us by his Son. The point that the author of Hebrews is making is that the definitive last prophetic word that is binding for all, I'm not talking about the gift of prophecy in the New Testament, words of knowledge and so forth that Paul talks about in 1 Corinthians 12 and even into 13 and 14. That's a different thing altogether. But this notion here of a binding prophetic dynamic, the final word, the logos that John spoke of, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. That final word is Jesus. He is the culmination of all that the prophets pointed to. And he comes and in his person and in his work set the stage for our eternal redemption. So, Jesus is first and foremost, according to the author of Hebrews, the great and final prophet. So that means that when we see Jesus, or we hear Jesus speak, when we see what Jesus does, we have to pay attention because he is the final word. May the Lord bless you.